Reading changes our brain, and in today's video, I'm going to talk about different reasons why everybody should read. I have been reading continuously for about 2 years, and so far I have noticed many changes in my life and how I see things, how I think. It's early in the morning, my face looks like I just left my bed, even my voice, and it is true. It's 6 in the morning, and this is the only time where I could record a video. There are countless reasons why everybody should read, but I will start with my personal favorite and probably the reason why I read it every day, and it is entertainment. Of course, I understand we are living in an era of social media where entertainment is just a click away. So why should we put this much effort and time to be entertained? And especially where I come from, reading for entertainment is such an alienated thing that whenever I'm reading at a public place, people look at me like if I'm doing the most uncommon thing in the society. Whenever they are told that I'm just doing for the sake of reading, for pleasure, they become so repulsive. But believe me, whoever has ever read just for the sake of reading, for the sake of entertainment, they understand what I'm talking about, how good of an experience it is. So if you have never read for the sake of entertainment, please do. You will be amazed how amazing and cool it is just to be going through pages instead of a screen, or a 15 seconds of short videos. It's a great way to entertain ourselves. As I mentioned earlier about social media, so my second reason is to improve attention span. I will ask a question to you. Me, a person who is not struggling with their attention span, you will not find one. If they are on internet and they have been active, I am one of them. I still struggle with it. So I always make sure to constantly or consciously make decision to not return to it. And I think reading has helped me a lot. And over the past 2 years, because of the restriction of a conscious restriction from my side, I have been able to utilize that time and use that time in watching different films, web shows, and of course reading books. So to improve one's attention span, you have to expose yourself to something which takes longer to be entertained. It's not about instant gratification. So reading can be that thing, and it will help you immensely to improve your attention span, your ability to concentrate on a single thing for a longer time. The next reason is quite similar to entertainment, but it sounds way cooler than that. To escape reality. I mean, we all are looking for that coping mechanism to avoid our ordinary problems, our daily life problems. And I think fiction can be that alternative to escape reality, to be able to forget our daily lives and our problems for about some time. And for me, it is fiction, of course. And I pretend that I'm being productive learning a language, reading fiction. So this is just a cool way to escape reality and to entertain myself. If you want to learn any language, reading can provide you that path to be consistent with it. Every language has 4 components, right? LSWR, listening, speaking, writing, and reading. So I use it to learn English. And that's another reason to read, to learn a language. At the moment, of course, it is English, but I do want to learn proper Hindi and Urdu. I can read Urdu, but when it comes to reading it for a longer time, I don't have that attention span to do it. But I will stay with English at the moment. Here in our country, in India, English is considered a scale to measure how educated you are. I mean, you must have noticed it too, that how people believe that if a person can speak English, that person must be educated, right? And because of that, there is this fear in youngsters, and especially people who belong to countryside. They have this fear of learning this language. They are worried where to start. They think about whether they should start cramming words, or they should be focusing on grammar lessons, or they don't find a partner to communicate with. But reading can be that thing which can stay with you and make you stay consistent with your learning progress in learning this beautiful language. So I use it every day. I'm being entertained. I'm getting another benefits, but at the same time, I'm learning this language too. I have talked about this in my previous videos, stories and characters, right? When you read, you come across so many different stories and characters, amazing people that you just don't meet them in real life. Watching films and watching TV shows are great. I do enjoy them, but when it comes to reading, there is this special thing about it. It feels like you are able to be more personal with that character, and that's another reason to explore different stories, to meet different characters, to be able to learn from them, to be able to imagine your life in their shoes. I wanted to make this thing main theme of my channel, to become articulate, how to become an articulate speaker, not just in English but in any language. And believe me, reading can help you to do that. It is not about fluency. I think being articulate is not about fluency. I have seen how much changes within these 2 years. I have seen a lot progress. It's about the kind of words I am using, the way I am able to convey my ideas to other people. I think this is, for me, what it means to become articulate, to be able to use words in a different manner. And it's not about being pretentious or anything like that. It's about how I am able to convey my ideas in a better manner. And over these past 2 years, I have noticed it, that how I have been able to do it. Like, it's been a gradual and continuous process, and I'm still doing it. You might be wondering that how reading is going to lead us to become articulate. Like, there is a monologue going in your head at the moment you are reading. So of course you are going to use those passive vocabulary while you are speaking. So pick up a book if you want to become articulate. The next reason is something you might find cool. Right? I'm using the word cool again and again because it is just cool, right? To see the world through different lenses. That it is a fact, books are one of the oldest medium to share stories, right? I mean, people used to share their stories orally, passing stories from one generation to another, but then they started writing something, invention of language and all. So to be able to imagine this world and to see what was going back in those days, it is just a great way, right? You are just imagining yourself in the position of that character, or putting yourself in that writer. To gain confidence. Can we gain confidence by reading? I bet you can. Just, I'll give you my example once again, that I have always been that guy who gets stuck after a few minutes of conversation. I don't know what to talk, and maybe it happens with you all too. But when you read, you have different topics to talk, even though you are pretending to. Like, it might be just formality, but you get to talk to people. You have got things to talk. Even though they are not interested, you can brag about that what you are reading. No, it's nothing like that. You get confidence to learn. I mean, everybody is aware that books are used to learn. So this is another reason, and this is the area where I need improvement. I don't use reading as a learning tool as often as I must. Of course, I'm learning this language, but the thing is that it's not a conscious process. I am learning it unconsciously, but to learn consciously, you have to put effort, right? If you want to learn about a particular topic, about a non-fiction topic, you have to put effort, and that is something I'm bad at, and hopefully I will work on it this year and improve myself, and you should too. Do you think you are a kind person? I mean, if you are not, I don't consider myself a kind person, and I'm trying to work on my empathy. Reading helps us to enhance our empathy. I have noticed it, and I think I'm very flawed, and I need a lot of, and it will take forever. I'm being honest here, right? I have noticed that how I feel jealous, and how I think that I have changed, but the next minute I realize that I'm not that empathic. It will take time to develop critical thinking. This is the most important reason, I believe, more than entertainment, more than education. Of course, education is part of critical thinking, but more than learning, I believe critical thinking is something which could be developed and which helps us immensely Just imagine how much information is out there on social media, on YouTube, on the internet, and how overwhelmed we get. We don't know whom to listen to. Especially in my case, I get influenced so easily. I used to get influenced so easily on social media that I decided to take a break from it. I do return to it sometimes to have a chat with my friends, my internet friends, but there are young people who get easily influenced by people, and they are not able to have this ability to think critically. But when you read, when you educate yourself, you will know how to think for yourself. And I mean, I'm not a religious person. I used to be, and reading is gonna help you to develop that critical thinking. It's not about believing everyone whatever they say without asking any questions. So pick a book, pick something thought-provoking, and it will change your life. Believe me, this word sounds crazy, that it will change your life, but it is gonna change your life. Your mom will kick you out from your home if she is religious. So be aware of that too. To expand imagination, I mean, we are putting ourselves and exposing ourselves to different writers. So of course our imagination is going to improve. We are going to think differently. We are going to see things differently. So definitely reading fiction and maybe sometime non-fiction too can help us to imagine differently. It can boost our imagination. This is another reason why you should read. People who have left college, who have completed their high school and they are working, how many of them are using books to learn? So if you have this habit of reading, you will eventually get at learning. I started it just for the sake of reading, but see, just within 2 years, I have started to move from, I'm still entertaining myself, but I'm moving in the path of learning. So it will encourage you to become a learner through your life, to find hidden gems. Of course, everything is being adapted on movies and TV shows. But of course, there are some books, some mangas, some stories which are not adapted. They are not adapted in this form of television or movie. So if you have ever read something which is not adapted yet, you know what I'm talking about. For example, this manga, Real Pun. Why I'm saying Real Pun Pun? Good Night Pun Pun. Crime and Punishment. I don't know if there is a movie on it, but the experience of reading Crime and Punishment was so good to me. And then The Stranger by Albert Camus. These are some of the examples. There are so many out there. So if you have the ability to sit and read a book, you will be introduced to so many different stories, hidden gems. So yeah, and another thing is to discipline yourself, self-discipline, right? We always want to be productive, to do things time, and to not waste our time on different social media platforms. And reading is gonna help us to maintain our timetable. You know, we can sleep on time instead of going on Instagram and Reels. We can just pick a book for about 10 minutes, before bed, and it will help us to sleep quite easily. And I'm talking from experience. I do it very often. I do it almost every day, and it helps me to sleep and wake up on time. Exposure to the different authors, different writing style is gonna help you to become a better writer. For example, I have been trying to write mostly about what's happened in my life, but I have seen changes. How I used to write my journal, and now how do I write it? It's not that I'm using some super difficult words, but even before recording this video, I make sure that I write highlights of my videos, or not even a proper, but a kind of script for it. I believe reading has helped me a lot. So these are a few reasons why you should read a book. If you have any other reasons or something which I haven't mentioned, feel free to leave it in the comment box. And if you have watched these videos this far, please leave a comment. What do you think about this video? Your feedback matters a lot, and it means a lot to me. Thank you for watching, and subscribe if you want to. Thank you.